Good morning, viewers. Um, we're coming from good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, by the time you're watching me from all over the world. Um, thank you for being a part of our channel. And today, I I am pressed to share something very important to us, all viewers. So that's the reason why I'm currently broadcasting live. All right. So this live broadcast. I want to make a discussion on compatibility in relationship, compatibility in relationship. Compatibility is a very important key in relationship and in marriage, but it is subtly neglected. Somehow some persons don't know how to go about vetting their compatibility. You get, so somehow some persons don't know how to go about um, checking if they are compatible with this person or they are not. How uh, how are they compatible? How should they know if they are compatible? What areas should they check when it comes to compatibility? So this live broadcast will be ironing that out. Hallelujah. All right, please, if you're just joining me, you've seen this video now, I want you to subscribe to our channel, and I want you to bring in your questions as regards this discussion. I want you to drop your questions, your positive contribution or negative contribution, as the case may be. I want you to drop it on the comment box. I want you to I want you to share as well to someone who you think might need it, because there's some truth I will be sharing, especially for Christians, in this live broadcasts and discussion that will be very helpful. All right. So quickly click the subscribe button and turn on the notification. All right, compatibility has to do with how people and things get along. So compatibility has to do with how people and things get along. It means coexisting. You understand? Coexisting. So without not just coexisting, because there are tendencies of coexisting and there'll still be problem, but this coexisting has to do without problem, coexisting between people without problem, without conflict. That's compatibility. So we're not going to be talking about the compatibility aspect of things. No, we're going to be talking compatibility, like, where you want to dress. You say, this color is matching this jacket, and this shoe is matching this hat. No, we're not talking about that compatibility. Compatibility cuts across a lot of areas of life, but we're going to be specifically addressing it as regards relationship and marriage. All right. So compatibility has to do with people and things getting along. I've said that. It means coexisting without problem and conflict. All right. Compatibility also means like-mindedness. Yeah. Compatibility also means like-mindedness. It also means like-mindedness. It means you and the person are like-minded. Yeah, like-minded. It means you share similarity, sameness, oneness of mind. Okay. So compatibility also refers to the ability of things or people to exist or work together harmoniously in harmony or effectively without causing problem or interference. So we are together, but we are synchronizing. We are we are we are we are matching. All right. We aren't interfering with each other. Okay, that's compatibility. It is a theory that applies to idea. Like I said earlier when I was starting, it's a theory that can apply to idea. It's a theory that can apply to philosophy. It's a theory that can apply to physical objects. It's a theory that can apply to relationship as well. All right. So, but we are specifically talking about relationship. Okay. So to me, in my own opinion, I really think compatibility is one of the most important, yeah, Mm. The most important, one of the key ingredients, one of the most paramount ingredients when it comes to having let's say a strong relationship, or let's say a healthy marriage. Yeah. Okay, so it is an important concept in relationship and marriage, because why I said so, because upon compatibility can we build other variables in relationship. A relationship, there are other variables in a relationship, and upon compatibility we can build these other variables. So by the time I start hitting into compatibility, you begin to understand that, oh, it really looks like the mother of other things in a relationship. All right, so compatibility is key, and a lot of my generation, a lot of people are missing it. They are missing how they should really measure compatibility. Just like you use your thermometer to measure temperature, you can't use your barometer to measure temperature. All right, so there are measuring apparatus to measure compatibility. All right, there are scale to read compatibility. All right, so I believe you subscribed to this channel, and I believe you are getting blessed. All right, okay, so marriage is an institution. You would agree with me? Yeah, marriage is an institution ordained by God to make two people become one. Marriage is an institution ordained by God to make two people become one. I think that's a fact, that's a truth that nobody can argue anymore. All right, so the moment we become married, we become one. So marriage is an institution that brings two people from different backgrounds, from different society, from different upbringing, from different class, from different, yeah, from different values, to become one. All right. Mm. And marriage as an institution is instituted by God for different purposes. So these two people come together to become one for different purposes. So we're not talking about the purpose of marriage, all right? We're not talking about the purpose of getting into a relationship, but certainly marriage has purpose, all right? So marriage has purpose. However, without compatibility, the two can never truly become one. In marriage, without compatibility, the two can never really become one. Okay, so if brother A and sister B, they want to get married. If they are not compatible and they get married, they cannot become one, because becoming one is more than just thinking it. All right, because actually in the home they are still two individuals, and one is still clearly a male and one is still clearly a female. So you must understand that when marriage makes two people one, it means that there is a joining. It means that there's a harmony. It means that there is a compatibility. All right, so you must understand that without compatibility, the two can never truly become one in marriage. Okay, yeah, the two can never truly become one in marriage. So there are many who have limited compatibility to um the limited compatibility to, we like ice cream, I like strawberry, he likes strawberry, you know. My hobby is swimming, his hobby is swimming. No, those are important, but you can't judge um, a lifelong marriage on things that can change. All right. Tomorrow you might not want to take strawberry ice cream. Yes, it happens. So your compatibility, you don't have to build it on less important things like games and colors and movie and pleasure. No, there are other parameters. There are other variables that are necessary, because compatibility affects deep waters in relationship. Compatibility affects deep waters in relationship, where you think it does not matter, it matters. All right, so Compatibility, before I proceed, I'll use another word. There's a word called alignment. There's a word called alignment. I would use that word compatibility to explain, or use the word alignment to explain compatibility. So when you say you are compatible with the person, it means you are aligning. So you must not be the same kind, but you are aligning. Alignment. So to be compatible, compatibility means to be in alignment with another. All right. So it means to be in alignment with another. So the question is, are you in alignment in the relationship you are currently in? Are you in alignment? Because compatibility means to be in alignment with the other person. So in marriage, you must be in alignment with your spouse, and this begins in relationship. So now that you're still dating or courting per se, you would have to iron out your compatibility. Yeah. Mm. You have to iron out your compatibility. Very necessary. Very necessary. Very necessary. And this video, this discussion is for that purpose. Okay. So yeah, before I go to the measurement and the scale for judging compatibility, this I want you to understand: man is a tripartite being. Now when I say man is a tripartite being, it means man is threefold. Man has three dimensions. It means man is a spirit that has a soul, and he lives in a body. So spirit, soul, and body. Every man has a spirit, soul, and body. So the fact that every man has a spirit, soul, and body means every man has a spiritual need, a soul need, and a body need. So what does this mean? It means that every man has a spiritual life, a soul life, and a body life. So for your life to be balanced, for your relationship to be balanced, for it to be healthy, it means that you must consider your spirit, you must consider your soul, and you must consider your body in compatibility with the person you are getting married to. It's important, because you can't just satisfy your body when it comes to a relationship. You can't please just your soul when it comes to a relationship, or you can't please just your spirit when it comes to a relationship. The theory of them, you must outline their requirements for compatibility. You must outline it, and you must make sure they are met to some extent. All right, good. So man is a tripartite being. He's a spirit, he has a soul, and lives in a body. So its existence depends on the effective running of these three corridors. So the existence of a man is tied to the effective running of these three corridors. Okay, you can't do without one. When the spirit is not there, there is no life. When the soul is not there and the spirit and body is dead, there is no life. When the body is not there, there is no life. So the three must be satisfied. The three must be considered. All right. So the issue of compatibility is key, and you must consider these three aspects of your life. Okay, because the issue of compatibility can make or break your relationship. It can make or break your relationship. Okay. Yeah, can make or break a relationship. So many persons just build relationship on love. No, more important than love is compatibility. Because I often tell people love can be manipulated. Mm. But compatibility on the long run, compatibility cannot be manipulated compared to love. Love can be manipulated. Love can be triggered, it can be created, can be generated. It can yes. Yeah. Unlike compatibility. Compatibility is a more solid rock to build a relationship on than feelings, than love, in quotes. All right, good. So you may know that you are compatible with someone when you feel like you relate to them. All right, so you may know that you're compatible with someone when you feel that you are related to them. Mhm. When you feel that vibe, all right, okay, you just feel this relation, this connection. Okay, you enjoy their company, and you value your value align with their values. All right, your value aligned with their value, you enjoy their company, you feel related to them somehow, you feel this connection. That's what it means. Okay, so in such a way you can say you are having compatibility with a person, but that does not really give us the whole measurement, the whole criteria or variables for measuring compatibility. Okay, so um please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe, because on this channel, by the grace of God, we've been able to maintain consistent, healthy uploads. Okay, and this discussion is just another very, very interesting upload that's meant for your edification. All right, so like I was saying, I said is that compatibility doesn't necessarily mean you guys are the same. Nope, nope, nope. Compatibility doesn't mean that you guys. Compatibility doesn't necessarily mean that you and your partner are the same. Mm-mm. It doesn't necessarily mean that you share all the same traits, you share all the same hobbies, you share all the same interests, you share all the same views. No, but it does mean that to some extent, to a great extent, there is similarity. All right. Mm. To a great extent, there's similarity. It does mean that you have a lot in common, and you can communicate. You can communicate effectively in order to work out any differences. That's what it means. So it means that you have a lot in common. You can communicate to a great extent to work out the differences. Okay. Yeah, that's what it means. So don't make the mistake to say we must be exactly the same. My color is red, his color must be red. I love K movies, K movies, Korean movies. He must love Korean movies. I love ice cream. He must like ice cream. I love eating late night food. He must love eating late night food. No. That's not it. That's not it. But to some extent, you must have common traits of compatibility, and those things that you're supposed to be compatible about are what I would be clarifying for you in this discussion. All right, now back to what I said earlier. I said man is a spirit, has a soul, and lives in the body, right? Good. Now compatibility, in my own analysis and personal understanding, I think it's simple enough. Compatibility is divided into three structures based on the dimension of man's life. Now, because man has a spirit, a soul, and a body, so I would say there is a spiritual compatibility, there is a soul compatibility, and there is a body compatibility. So, in your relationship, in your marriage, there is need for spirit compatibility, there is need for soul compatibility, and there is need for body compatibility. So these are the three compatibility that are important in a relationship. All right. Yeah. Yeah, you might want to research, and when you research, you might not get exactly what I'm saying, because what I'm saying currently, my own it's one of the best way I've understood personally what compatibility should be all about. All right, and I think it will help a lot of us out there, you watching this now. I think it will help you get clarity to how to deal with the issue of compatibility in your relationship and in your marriage. All right, so I think we'll be spending time to talk on the spiritual compatibility. Let's begin with that. So probably maybe in this broadcast or in the next broadcast, I'll be talking about the soul and the body compatibility. So the spiritual compatibility. The spiritual compatibility. Now, this is popularly called spiritual compatibility, but I classified it as a spirit compatibility. Okay, it is the compatibility that has the eternal value in a relationship, the eternal value part of a relationship. That's a spiritual compatibility. Okay. So spiritual compatibility is not subject to change like the soul compatibility and what's it called, the body compatibility. Those compatibility are subject to change. Yeah, they're subject to change more frequently than the spiritual compatibility will be subject to change. All right. So spiritual compatibility is not subject to change like others. It is more lasting. Spiritual compatibility is more lasting. It can be subdivided into various aspects. All right. So I can press it to you that there are various aspects of spiritual compatibility. So there is a generic aspect of spiritual compatibility. There's a generic aspect of spiritual compatibility. So the subdivision of spiritual compatibility is the generic aspect of spiritual compatibility, which is the compatibility of faith. The compatibility of faith. That's a generic. Of faith compatibility. Of faith compatibility. It means that, okay, before I talk about the of faith compatibility, let me just make the two divisions. So when it comes to spiritual compatibility, there is a generic compatibility, which is the of faith compatibility, and there is a specific compatibility, which is the in faith compatibility. The in faith compatibility. So there is an of faith compatibility when it comes to the spiritual compatibility, and there's an in faith compatibility when it comes to spiritual compatibility. All right. Are you learning? Okay. Please, I want to see your comment. I want to see your feedback, your questions. You can bring up questions. You can bring up suggestions and other contributions that could be healthy for those persons who will be all over the comment section. Okay, please, if you've not subscribed, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the notification button. All right. So like I was saying, we have the generic, which is the of faith compatibility, and the specific compatibility, which is the in faith compatibility. Okay, so the generic compatibility, is that of religion. Okay, it involves the religion of the persons who are in a relationship. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So to be generically, like on a general note, your first compatibility scale should be if the person is of the same faith with you. If the person is of the same faith with you, it means that is this person a Christian? If you are a Christian, if this person is this person a Muslim? If you are a Muslim, is this person a Buddhist? If you are a Buddhist, is this person a Hindu? If you are a Hindu, or is this person a Jew? If you are a Jew, you get. Or is this person an atheist? If you are an atheist, you get. So these questions are important. So for the Christians, you must understand that the first compatibility scale, the first variable for measuring your compatibility is the of faith compatibility. This is non-negotiable. This is non-negotiable. So you must have similar religious background. You must have similar religion. You must have similar religious background, similar worship. It is important. It is important. Okay? That is compatibility on the of faith ground. Because if you and your partner are of different religious background, certainly there will be conflict. There will certainly be conflict. There will certainly be conflict. All right. So that is just a first banger of incompatibility. I'm a Christian, and the lady I want to get married to is a Buddhist. Is a no-no, because that is a major. So imagine a situation whereby I'm an ardent follower of Christ, and she is an ardent. So who's gonna break who, and who's gonna bend who? So instead of fighting that fight, is a no-no. That is incompatibility. So it is incompatibility for a Christian to be yoked with a non-Christian. All right, it is incompatibility for a Christian to be yoked with a non-Christian, irrespective of whether the person. They can be good people. Hello. I'm not saying that only Christians are nice people. No, there are persons in other religions who are good, who are nicer, who are loving, who are generous, who are caring. But We're talking about marriage, we're talking about a relationship, yeah. And if it must work for you as a Christian, you must understand that is a no-no, is a no-go, is not negotiable. If a person is not a Christian, that is incompatibility and it cannot be accommodated. All right. So it is important. It is important because it will become a major point of conflict in the relationship. It will become a major point of fight in the relationship. Okay. To this effect, Apostle Paul said in 2 Corinthians 6. Let's see the scripture. 2 Corinthians 6. Apostle Paul says something in 2 Corinthians 6. 2 Corinthians 6. 2 Corinthians 6, verse 14. Apostle Paul says something in 2 Corinthians 6, verse 14. All right, 2 Corinthians appear. Okay, 2 Corinthians 6, verse 14. Apostle Paul says something 14. 2 Corinthians 6, verse 14 to 16. He said, "Do not be yoked together with unbelievers. Do not be yoked together with unbelievers. For what do righteousness and wickedness have in common? Or what fellowship can light have with darkness? What harmony is there between Christ and Belial? Or what does a believer has in common with an unbeliever?" 16. What agreement is there between the temple of God and idol? For we are the temple of the living God. And he has said, "I will live with them and walk among them. I will be their God and they will be my people." All right. So this was Apostle Paul talking about the the difference that should exist between a Christian and a non-Christian. All right. And this also affects relationship. It also affects your choice of a spouse for marriage. Okay. Do you remember Amos 3 verse 3 also stated it? Amos 3 verse 3 said, "Can two work together?" I said they agree. Yeah. So there must be a spiritual agreement of faith. There must be a spiritual agreement of faith with that one you have chosen to work with in a relationship. There must be a spiritual agreement of faith with him or her. All right. So in Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 3 2 was establishing what we're talking about. Deuteronomy chapter 3 verse 7. Deuteronomy chapter 3 verse 7. Sorry. Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 3. It says, "Do not intermarry with them. Do not give your daughter to their sons or take their daughters for your sons. For they will turn," verse 4, Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 4 now. "For they will turn your children away from following me to serve other gods, and the Lord's anger will burn against you and will quickly destroy you." This is God's instruction to the children of Israel and to all Christians, as Apostle Paul rightly said in 1 Corinthians, right, in 2 Corinthians 6, verse 14 and 16 to 16, that there is no connection. All right, there can be no connection. There can't be any connection between a Christian and an unbeliever as regards relationship and marriage. All right. So that established the of faith aspect of compatibility. Now, the in faith aspect of compatibility, where many persons make the mistake when they successfully judge the of faith aspect. He's a Christian, I'm a Christian, we are good to go. There is an in faith aspect of compatibility. All right, the in faith aspect of spiritual compatibility has to do with dissimilar subjects. All right, dissimilar subjects in a similar faith or religion. Yeah. So it has to do with, are we similar? Now we are both Christians. Do we have dissimilar ideas? Do we have unmatching ideas, unconnecting view, perspective, belief in the faith? It is important. All right. So because one will agree with me that there are seemingly many versions in the body of Christ. Yeah. There are many versions in the body of Christ. So because there are many versions in the body of Christ, there are many teachers and there are many teachings and there are many doctrines and there are many practices in the body of Christ. Yeah. So you must not just, it's not okay to say we are both Christians. No. Beyond that, there's an in faith vetting of compatibility. All right, because there are many versions in the body All right. So because there are many teachers, because there are many teachings, because there are many doctrines, because there are many practices, so you must ensure that you are compatible in doctrines. You must ensure that you are compatible in doctrines. You must ensure that you are compatible in practice, even if you are compatible in faith, being Christian and Christian. Yeah, you must ensure that you are compatible in doctrine, in practice, in you get me, in those basic things that are necessary in the faith. In the faith, yeah. So imagine doctrines on prayer. You must be compatible in doctrines of faith, in doctrines of grace, doctrines of righteousness, in doctrine of giving, worship. These are doctrines that you must be compatible. Because I can't. You shouldn't have a wife that is praying die, 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 and you are a husband that pray, Lord, thank you, I am glorious. She believes in witches and wizard, and you don't believe in that. So imagine you believe on grace, the work of Christ on Calvary, and I would enter it by faith. And she believes in God, she believes in Moses and rituals. There will be conflict in the home. There will be conflict in the home because you can just wake up one day and she will kill a chicken and sprinkle the blood all over the house. And she still goes to church because you must understand that there are false prophets all around. There are false churches, false shrines claiming to be churches all around, and native doctors dress in suits all around. So you must ensure that the in-faith compatibility is checked and checked and checked and checked and checked. This is not to say that you must marry from the same assembly. No. I'm not saying you must, your wife, your friend, the fiance you are in a relationship with must be from the same assembly. No. But it could be from different assembly, but with similar doctrine. So that when you wake up at midnight to pray, you won't be disturbing someone's daughter. Yeah. So when you're giving your tithes, there won't be conflict at home. Because it's there must be mutual understanding and agreement. It must be shared. Mutual understanding and agreement must be shared. If it's not shared in certain issues, spiritual issues, there will be problem. All right, there will be problem. Because if this agreement and this mutual compatibility in these spiritual matters and mutual understanding in these matters are not handled, there will be problem. Oh, you go to church too much, you this, you that, your pastor, your this, your that. It will be like the biblical scenario of 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 12. Remember 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 12, when some said, I am for Apollos, and some said, I am for Paul. That would be the case in your home. That would be the case in your marriage, because your wife will be, I am for Bishop this, and you will be, I am for Prophet that, and the children will be like, you're confused. All right, so this is compatibility, spiritual compatibility. Very important. All right, so there is an of faith compatibility. We are Christians now. Good, we are Christians now. The in faith compatibility is now that we are Christians, what does she believe as regards prayer? What does she believe as regards tithing? What does she believe as regards giving? What does she believe as regards grace? What does she believe as regards love? If you can't blend, then you just want to go into marriage like that, there will be problem. So whatsoever correction must be made, if correction can be brought in, it can be made. Why? You are not yet married. But if corrections cannot be made, that's incompatibility. All right? Yeah. So the next compatibility I'll be talking about is the soul compatibility. All right, the soul compatibility has three aspects. I said the spiritual compatibility has two aspects. All right, okay, before I go to the soul compatibility, the third aspect of spiritual compatibility is purpose. Yeah. The third aspect of spiritual compatibility is purpose, meaning what God has said about your life, your destiny. That's the third component of spiritual compatibility. So the first is of faith, the second is in faith, then the third is purpose. Purpose. What's the spiritual value of your life? Yeah. What's the spiritual resources upon your life? What has God ordained for you? What's your purpose? What's your calling? What's your assignment? She or he must be compatible to your purpose. Your partner you must present your purpose, and it must be a measuring scale with which you choose and decide who to marry and who to go into a relationship with. Two cannot agree. Two cannot go on a journey except they agree. Can two work together except they agree? If you read from other translations, say, can two go to a place without first meeting? You get. So it is important. Your agreement in these things are important. So compatibility has to do with three aspects, which is the emotional compatibility, the mental compatibility, and the intellectual compatibility. All right, the emotional compatibility, the mental compatibility, and what's it called? Intellectual compatibility. All right, so these compatibilities are important because there are a lot of persons who are who has damaged souls. We have a spirit, soul, and a body. Some persons are sick physically in their body. Some persons are not they are physically healthy, they are spiritually, let's say spiritually healthy, but the point is their soul is injured, they are broken in soul, they are hurt in their soul. There are a lot of persons who are going with damaged souls, broken emotion, shattered, battered. Some persons are going about with dilapidated mentality. Their mindset is dilapidated, poor, low, degraded. There are some persons, their intellect, they can't comprehend. Their thinking is poor, their intelligence is low. So imagine you going with somebody who's opposite you emotionally, going for somebody who's opposite you. I'm not saying you must be the same, but I'm saying there must be a compatibility. There must be a point where there is a matching, where there is a blending. It must be able to synchronize, to align. All right. So why some can't see beyond? There are people who can't see beyond their nose, while there are persons who can see beyond their eyes. There are persons who can see beyond their nose, while there are persons who can see beyond their eyes. They can see beyond what their eyes can see. There are some persons who are pessimistic. There are persons who are optimistic. There are persons who are intellectually capable. There are persons who are dull. That's just the truth. That's the truth. So marry your type. That's compatibility. Compatibility is marrying your type. Not that the person have exact same qualities as you, but it is matching. You can adapt. You can adopt with the person. Marry your type. Marry your type. Marry your type. You're a church person, a lover of church, marry your type. You're a hardworking person, marry your type. You have godly values, marry your type. You're a party person, marry your type. You are a Malian, marry your type. You are what you are, marry your type. All right? By marrying your type, that's compatibility. There won't be issues. All right? There won't be issues. All right. So intellectual compatibility is part of the soul. It is a compatibility that has to do with where intelligence is considered. At least the persons they respect each other's intelligence. You must not be both at first class, but you respect this person's intelligence. To some extent, it's okay for you. All right. It mustn't be that the husband and the wife, the fiance and the fiancée must be both first class. No, as long as you can accommodate it, that is compatibility. So share and stimulated by the same idea. You guys share the same ideas. You share ideas. You are stimulated by the same ideas. You get. All right. So you share both the same intellectual interest. The same intellectual interest. I love reading. She should love reading to some extent. You should love books to some extent. You should love writing to some extent. Might not be in the same way. Might not be the same authors, but at least they should be to some extent some similarities. All right, they value each other's opinion and thought. These are intellectual compatibility, valuing of each other's opinion and thought. Find each other conversation interesting. He shouldn't be a person who you are talking with, you are not interested. When he's talking, you're not interested. His conversation turns you off. It makes you feel like sorry for that, but I'm just saying he makes you like feel you want to throw up. Okay, yeah. So emotion has to do with feelings like anger. Check these things: anger, incitement, love, worries, etc. Can you accommodate his anger? Can you accommodate his love? Can you accommodate his excitement? Can you accommodate the way he laughs? Can you accommodate his mood swings? Can you accommodate these things? You must look into these things. Compatibility, all right? Important, so that you can understand and positively manage one another. You must develop your emotional intelligence. You must develop your emotional intelligence. What's his level of emotional intelligence? If you're a person that don't even understand your emotions, you don't understand your emotions, just happen and you just react, you just go with it, you just flow with the tide. You really need to understand your emotions. Emotional intelligence is important for a relationship. I think I'll be talking about that in some other discussion. All right. So then the body, the body has to do with the physique, the disposition, the dress sense, the communication, the courage. You understand? Physical personalities, things you can see physically, it matters. So the person should be able to attract you, should be able to catch you, should be able to make you want to keep looking, make you want to keep gazing, should be able to satisfy your eyes to some extent. To some extent, yeah. Yeah, to some extent, to some extent. Not a person you wake up to and be like, oh, I wish I never. All right. She or he should be a person you can say, hello, handsome, hello, beautiful. Now, take note: beauty and handsomeness is not judged by a public scale. It judged, like the others go, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. So this person might not be beautiful to me, but can be beautiful to you. Might not be handsome to me, but can be handsome to you. All right. So that's physical compatibility. It must, to some extent, you must be attracted to the person. They must be attracted to you to some extent. All right. So and let's keep. All right. God bless you.